Hello, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo. It's my forever co-host John, and today we're talking about Warrior, the 2011 movie about two brothers in the UFC or MMA, whatever it is.
I say, was it MMA? Oh, sorry, was it UFC or I think it was just MMA?
I think it was just MMA. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a tournament-based. I never heard of this before.
Neither have I. I think they just made this for the movie.
I think so too. It's not based on a true story, but it's a really damn good movie.
Yeah. So I don't have to ask how you heard of this because you told me about this movie, and I say thank you all these years later. It's one of the few movies where I'm like, I'm gonna check this out right away after you recommended it to me, not 2 years after the fact.
Yeah. Because we were coming off the hype of because it was 2011, right?
Yeah.
We were coming off the hype of Dark Knight Rises, and you're like, I want to see more. Well, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, he gets to fight Uncle Owen in this one. Watch this.
Like, oh, what? And then I watched it and I was like, oh, damn, it's a really good movie. And you did warn me that it does pull on the heartstrings a lot. Like, a lot. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. That was just about punching people, not making the audience cry, but it definitely is.
And I have. Okay, go.
I mean, the beginning of the movie really sets the tone of, like, you get the sense of relationship between Tommy Connellan and his father, Paddy Connellan, where Paddy's a recovering alcoholic. He already almost has 1,000 days, but Tommy's like, I don't give a shit. Mom was calling out to your God while you were recovering. She was dying of whatever sickness plagued her. He wasn't there for her, and I had to take care of Mom. We're like, fuck, Jesus Christ, why?
And all we know is that Tommy is a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Or he's in the military. And what's the name of the brother?
Brendan.
He's a school teacher. Just imagine your person in college just happens to kick ass. The dude takes off his shirt and you see the build. I'm like,
damn.
I'm sorry I threw an eraser at you one thing.
Right.
My God.
And you get the sense.
Man said square up instead of square root. Fuck.
And you get the sense that Tommy was the one that Paddy pushed to the limit until he had to move away with the mom while Brandon stayed. But Brandon wasn't the favorite son, so he didn't give a shit about him. Paddy didn't give a shit about him. So you're like, oh, fuck, how is this going to go down? But, yeah, as you mentioned, both brothers are portrayed by Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton, respectively. And they do such an amazing job of, acting wise and sparring wise, just overall performances. You're like, this alone are 10 out of 10s. It's just a matter of who you feel for more. Is it Tommy, the person who doesn't really socialize, is on his own, but is going to train because he's on this path that he didn't mean to be on the path of being in Sparta, just kick the guy's ass, who was the number one contender that time.
Yeah. You just. Oh, God. What was his name again? The guy with the mohawk?
I don't know, some douchebag name.
No, because I could have sworn that's a real, he's a real UFC
fighter. Oh, sorry then if you watch this video.
Yeah, but, he did great. But, I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people aspire to. I was more of a Brendan, but, I have a friend who kind of matches the build and height of Tom Hardy. Just imagine, huge dude, huge shoulders, big stature.
Yeah.
Coming into a gym with this hoodie on, hood on, and just sweat on his back, and has a hunch. Fighters who have a hunch scare me. Because they either look like a grizzly bear or Mike Tyson. So, I'm like, I'm not fighting that thing. I'm a fairly decent, fighter when it comes to, throwing hands. But, if I were to pick and choose my fights, not with that. Never with that.
The way he just dispatches the Mohawk guy, you're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
And, I will say, though, no, I don't know if they were, Okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't do MMA. I do Muay Thai. So, because their gloves are very hard and it kind of seems like.
It's almost the fist itself.
Yeah, I don't know if. But I guess they do practice grappling and all that. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what they have.
Just knee after knee and then wham! Like, oh fuck, he's down.
Wow! I'm like, oh! I'm like, oh my god, he's.
Of course, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? He just knocked out the #1 contender, and like they go to his house, and like Tommy gets the dreams of like maybe I should train for the Sparta thing. I don't know if you know, but the JJ guy is the director of the movie. He's Gavin O'Connor. He's the one who directed the movie. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
He later on goes to do what do you call the Ben Affleck movie where he has autism? Not the best thing. But he did the Ben Affleck movie where he was like a drunk basketball player or basketball coach. It's a pretty good movie. Came out during lockdown, so that's why nobody really talks about it. But yeah, he's on his way. Tommy's on his way to train, and he talks to his dad about it. He's like, "Look,
Are you talking about Coach Carter?
no, the way back, not Samuel Jackson."
I'm sorry. I didn't watch Coach Carter yet. So
No, not the classic high school movie you watched during high school in the Philippines. I don't know why I had a stroke there, but anyway, no.
I don't remember. But alright.
Tommy tells his dad, like, look, we're gonna train. If we're gonna train me, this means nothing to me. We doesn't build up our relationship. Means nothing. Means squat. He's like, all right, but if I'm gonna train you, can you please get rid of your fucking pills? It's like, oh, because he sounded like a goddamn maraca come to the door. Like, oh, okay. And for someone like Nick Nolte, I don't know. Before this movie, I was like, really, this guy again? But his performance, like for me, exceeds Tom Hardy's and Joel Edgerton's. For me, at least.
No, because Nick Nolte's a damn good actor.
Yeah.
It's that before we saw him in anything else, we saw him in Tropic Thunder.
Right.
So we couldn't like, oh, what was his old movies? We didn't know that he does dramas really well.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He was
okay.
also in the Banner Hulk. He was Bruce Banner's
Yeah, he was
dad with the poodles.
yeah.
It's like, you're my son, you're the fucking dog. He's like, what the fuck?
Great Nick Nolte impression.
Thank you. And then before we move on with Tommy, you go to Brandon, where he's a bit more put together than Tommy, but his life is falling apart because of finances. Basically, like, I can't pay for my house. This school job that I'm in isn't cutting it. My wife and I are working 3 jobs separately just to make ends meet. Thank you. And like, he's not getting a bone. Like, he has to participate in these like almost backyard as like amateur MMA fights where guys who watch too much MMA participate, but he's the only one experienced enough because of his dad and like him growing up.
Yeah, and going back to fighting with my family, I did mention like I love it when actors take their time to know the sport and perfect technique, not strength, technique.
Yeah.
And Joel Edgerton, we all know that Tom Hardy is a fucking monster.
Just see him Dark Knight with his fucking back. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, have you seen him in like jiu-jitsu matches?
Yeah.
Real jiu-jitsu matches? I'm like, the guy's a blue belt.
Right?
I'm like, oh fuck that shit.
Can easily fuck you up in the movies as he can in real life.
Yeah, well, okay, belts don't mean much.
In jiu-jitsu, yeah.
It's all like, you could be as experienced but stay as a white belt in some cases, from what I heard from my jiu-jitsu friends. But anyway, back to Joel Edgerton. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
I love his somewhat. It looks stiff, but he's very like.
Yeah.
He's very squared up, but he does more of like boxing s style and Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Not much on the grappling side, I would say. But dude has great form when it comes to boxing and kicking.
And you see the both opposite ends on this movie after he gets kicked out from the school by the principal, who I don't know if you noticed is Sam Witwick's dad from Transformers.
Yeah.
He's the one who's like, before he gets fired, he's like, are you in the UFC? He's like, yeah. Fucking hey. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Because you don't expect a teacher to just be an MMA fighter. Ooh.
Yeah, he just comes in the classroom with like a black guy. He's like, all right, class, let's get back to Isaac Newton. Where there's like, the fuck happened to you?
Yeah, he's Batman. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like fighting Bane. But like, I do have a coworker who's kind of like if you see him, you don't think he would be a fighter.
Yeah.
And then like I see his jiu-jitsu videos, I'm like,
I wish I could say this is my first introduction to Frank Grillo because Frank here is a pretty good character. I think his name is Frank too in this movie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But no, it was Winter Soldier, but that doesn't diminish the fact that here he's equally as badass as this. Listen to, what was it? Beethoven? Classical music to get your mind clear when you're training for a fight. Like, I like that philosophy. I think it was Beethoven. Yeah.
Because I remember when I used to like get ready for a spar. Because it would always make me nervous because I want to perform good, but at the same time I want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to to like kawaii techno music. It was a guilty pleasure. It kept me calm.
Whatever floats your boat. I do love the scene where Patty and Brandon, where Patty's like, "Oh, I've come here to apologize and hope to break bread over the fact that I'm almost 1,000 days," and Brandon's like, "Great, good for you, Dad. Where the fuck was this guy when I needed him? When I needed a father?" It's like, "I've been proved. Can you please forgive me? I'm a changed man." It's like, "I do forgive you, but I do not trust you. Now go away."
I say that's respectable. Like at this point, like them saying they forgive you, but they don't trust you is like, okay, I get you, but at least you forgive me. You know, like if I was a drunken father for like God knows how many years, I've been like, that's enough. You don't need to trust me. I get it.
Yeah. And when he's like, "Hey, come on, Brandon, have a heart," and Brandon's like, "Mo, like fuck you, have a heart, shit. You can take that shit and shove it up your ass." Like, oh fuck. You didn't feel like you don't see what happens with Brandon and Tommy when they're kids, but just the way you hear it, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, like they were beaten as children to perform well in like MMA fights.
And the fact that Patty used to be a Marine who just trained Tommy to death, you're like, I see that. I see why Tommy is so bitter against him. Same with Brendan. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
The part that got me is when he saw the grandkids. He's like, "Oh, is that my granddaughter?" And he's like, "Bye. He's just a nice old man. Bye." You're like, "Oh, come on, man." I understand why, though.
Yeah, I get it that Patty's a piece of shit back in the day, but I'm like, at this point, I'm like, he's trying.
You're right.
But you're divided, like, but you're a piece of shit and you deserve to be alone, but you're trying.
Yeah.
Like, so Nick Nolte does a really good job at that.
Yeah.
Which was one of the starting, like, you know, the movie started to, like, pull on your heartstrings, like, dividing you in that mindset of, like, abusers in your head kind of don't deserve it.
Yeah.
But when they try to mend things, I'm like,
yeah.
hate it that you're trying to be a good person.
You also see the side of Brendan's wife of like, it doesn't matter how much money we have to pay for the house. What does it matter when you can't even walk anymore? Like, that's a good point. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to be in a hospital anymore or be in the back of an ambulance. That's not how I want to raise these kids. Like, he has a very good point, Brendan. But at the same time, you are doing this for your family. I wish there were easier means, but it is what it is at this point, for this movie at least.
Yeah, well, for them it's like they got their backs up against the wall, especially with Tommy. But yeah, and then I think there's the moment where we find out Tommy is actually AWOL.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to leave the army.
Yeah. And then you find out he has a best friend in the military. We assume rightfully that he's dead. Just don't know how he died yet. But like you see the training montages where you see the difference though. You see like Brendan has to climb this ladder to be the best. While Tommy, not saying he cheated, but like he just got lucky with like, oh shit, I didn't mean to knock the guy out or enter this world of Sparta. But I'm here anyway, so I'm gonna train to build a name for myself so I can help Manny's family. And you see their perspective ways.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you can see why Patty was more leaning towards Tommy, because Tommy is gifted.
Yeah.
He came to MMA.
Yeah.
As for Brendan, he kind of had to build his way up to
Yeah.
the point to where Tommy was.
Oh.
So like yeah.
Going back to wrestling for a bit, with Fighting With My Family, or things WWE related, you find out the biggest, baddest fighter in this world is Koba, who's played by none other than Kurt Angle. Like, it took me a while to figure out, when he's, like, the moment I realized who he was when he walked out with his suit. I was like, it's motherfucking Kurt Angle, what the fuck?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I know you. Wait a minute.
Right?
It's not unheard of to see WWE fighters go into MMA.
Yeah, Mr. Whether you're as good as Mr. Brock Lesnar or need some work like Mr. CM Punk, who knows?
So say CM Punk, you need a lot of work. Yeah, but you're so good at you're still good at wrestling though. So I appreciate that.
Kurt Angle barely said a word here, and you're still like, oh, I'm about to shit myself. The way he's just so intimidating. You're like, fuck. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, you see how they climb the ladder, and Brendan gets a break because the contender for Frank's group gets injured, and Brendan's like, well, you have me. He's like, absolutely not. Fine. He's like, yeah, I fucking love my coach. Like, yeah, sure, keep saying that, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see how well they build up this Sparta event to be the biggest MMA event in their world. I wish it was a real thing, to be honest.
I don't.
I mean, you don't have to qualify. You just have to watch it.
No, it's because it's kind of dangerous. Do you know why there's such a long grace period when it comes to people's fights? They don't do this whole tournament-based thing where they're like, in the same fucking day you fight another dude.
Oh yeah, it's not Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
Yeah, because your head won't take that many hits. Like, by the end of the tournament, for sure, that's your entire career gone.
That is a good point. But yeah,
so like, as cool as a tournament-based fighting thing is, as long as it stays where like battle bots,
yeah.
that's fine. Don't let it be like one day you go through 5 different people. I'm like,
No.
Nobody. I don't think anybody can survive that.
It's like, if you're going to do that, can you please pay for my aftercare surgery? You know?
Right. Like retirement, everything. That's it. I gave you one hell of a performance.
Yeah.
I'm set for life now.
Yeah.
But sadly, the world doesn't work.
No. And then we get to the day itself, and like, you see the difference between Tommy's style and Brendan's style, where Tommy just comes out in Sparta with no music, his dad's behind him, but he's like, don't you put your fucking hands on me. He's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, Tommy. He just comes out to his first opponent.
That's so bad.
Right?
What?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the opponent. He just knocks out in the second.
Oh, I feel bad for him too. I think they took that scene from Mike Tyson's entrance back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where Mike Tyson came in with music, but it was more like nails on chalkboard music.
Yeah.
Like it's a blurring white noise, and as he's just walking towards the ring, you're just like, that man ain't gonna make it.
And the thing with Tommy, as the commentator said, like, is he just a lucky shot? Is he just, a one-shot guy? Because he just knocked out the number 1 contender, but can he do it again? You get your fucking answer with his first opponent. Just knocks him out, just walks away. You're like, Jesus Christ!
Oh, was it the one where this is one dude's like doing flips and then he just like that one move? And
Yeah.
he just bolts out of the ring. I'm like,
You fuck.
wait, hold on, we're supposed to announce your name.
Right? And then you get Brandon's first opponent, and the thing with Brandon is, does he deserve to be here? He's a math teacher. Why the fuck is he in this MMA tournament? And like, you're gripping your shit at CC, I think, in that chokehold, and you're like, oh fuck, please movie, don't do this to me. I like Brendan. I don't want to invest so much scare into him just for him to lose in the first round. Fuck you.
Yeah, but then I guess it defeats the entire purpose of the story if he does lose.
Yeah. And like, after the chokehold, you see the camera work where it becomes blurry. You're like, oh, he was that close to never standing up again. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, getting knocked out. He's not gonna die in the spot.
No, I mean, like, he's not gonna get up in the tournament anymore. He's gonna wake up and be like, oh fuck, I wasted my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of made this whole thing so intense is because you see Tommy's very gifted. Sure, he has his moments, but you know that Tommy will be strong.
Yeah.
Brendan, on the other hand, rough around the edges, and you're kind of like, can he make it?
Yeah.
Which kind of made it more intense because we know that they're gonna fight each other later on.
Yeah.
We're like, how is that gonna work?
All right.
Where this guy's breezing through the tournament while this guy's like clinging on for dear life, performing well.
Yeah.
Clinging on.
Also, like the fact that Brandon's more of a submission guy. He's just gonna break your leg or arm rather than knock you out. You're like, that fits your style more, honestly.
I will redact my statement when I said that he was more of like a
Boxer.
boxer slash Muay Thai kind of style. Yeah, I forgot that Brandon did a lot of jiu-jitsu work here.
Yeah.
On the like, yeah, forgot. My bad.
Yeah. But when you feel it when he wins his first fight, you're just like, fuck, thank God. Even the principal's like, yeah, he did it, yeah. And then the wife is just ecstatic, and you're just like celebrating with them, like, thank God he made it.
Yeah.
I do like the moment before the second, during the first night where Tommy and Brandon have their moment of like, why the fuck didn't you tell me you were here? Where were you all these years? Yeah, you ran away with mom, but you had no right to keep the fact that she died from me. What the fuck is wrong with you, Tommy? Tommy's just like, it is what it is, but you're like, what do we mean? It is what it is.
I love how Tommy talks here.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no eye contact, head down, majority of the time. Like, you know, he's doing that. I'm like, man, this guy's unhinged.
Yeah.
Or like, not in the right mindset. You know, like he's not there completely.
Yeah.
You can tell some shit happened to this guy that is like, he's not okay.
Yeah, he needs help, and hopefully by the end of this movie, like, hopefully Brendan helps him out with that shit. Yeah. Even I feel bad for the dad when he's in Brandon's corner when he's coming. I was like, you can do it, and Brandon's just like, whatever. Like, oh, okay, it is what it is.
And I just felt bad for the dad.
The Mohawk guy who keeps talking shit, like, they subvert your expectations because you're like, all right, this is definitely the one guy where Tommy's going to struggle with, right? He's not going to have an easy time. And then the fight starts. He just tackles him and starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, because wasn't it the same fighter that he fought the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the guy who made him get the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
He's wailing on him. It's like, oh, stop! When you see him, he's all like for sure punch drunk.
Yeah.
The guy probably lost his career after that.
Probably. Like, they were like, alright, it's time for revenge. He's even doing this to Tommy. You're like, alright, this is gonna take like, what, 10 minutes of this movie's time? No. He stop punching him, he's dead. Like the commentator said it best, it's like, if you do that to someone on the street, you'll probably end up in jail.
Yeah. But you see just Tommy like, I love that look though, where he's just focused the whole fucking time. He doesn't do any taunts, he doesn't talk to you. He just stares at you.
Yeah. It's basically a bear uncaged. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Also, like the fact that the Marines are the ones doing his theme when he comes out. Like, that fits Tommy. Yeah. Even though he went AWOL, they have respect because he saved their drowning comrades from the tank, and he just rips it open. You're like, how the fuck do you do that? I guess we'll find out someday. If ever they have like a commentary track, who knows? But you're like, yeah, well, Tommy faced a Mohawk guy who's Brandon going to face? And then you find out it's Koba. You're like, fuck, Jesus Christ. Like,
he does a WWE move on him.
Yeah, the first guy you see him do on the first night, he just power bombs. You're like, fuck, is that even legal?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It is.
Like if it's to a position and then you just, you know.
Yeah, the only difference is in wrestling, there's like a mechanic where you help me, I help you. Here you're just like, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out when you hit the mat. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's like, no, there's no safety here. We're not trying our best to put on the show. We're trying our best to knock each other out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then the way Koba just comes out again, Kurt Angle's just very intimidating. You're like, and Frank's like, just look him in the eye. Don't take your eyes off him. If that was me, it's like, I kind of wanna.
You're like climbing onto the cage. You're like, help!
And also, it's also more pressuring because his wife is there. It's like, please don't make him cough blood while his wife is watching.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the first match, you're convinced that's what he's about to do. Koba's about to do to Brendan. Like, yeah, he's gonna break his ribs and he's gonna vomit blood over the Sparta ring. It's the end of Brendan. But Brendan, you does find. I forgot what Frank tells him. Of like, look, it's either you knock this guy out, or we go home. I'm gonna take your wife. We're all going to go home together. But if you don't knock him out, you have no home. This is that just inspires Brendan to be like, yeah, I have to kill this guy.
Yeah. I do love that. It's the urge to go up against the impossible.
Yeah. And then Brandon finds it in himself to like out wrestle and out fight Koba, which is cool because he's Kurt Angle, and you're like, I never thought I would see an actor or wrestler out wrestle Kurt Angle, but here we are.
But like, I think that is the best way to go at it. If you have someone who's bigger than you, like way bigger than you, like Kurt Angle, the best thing to do is do
Yeah.
bring it to the ground and bring them to your level.
I love the fact that Frank was telling him to break his knee when he had him in a submission hold. I was like, yeah, either you break the knee or he gets up again and kicks the shit out of you. So it's your choice, Brandon. Hopefully you do break his knee. And you see him tap out, you're like, fuck. I was just gripping my chair the whole time, like, please, movie, don't do this to me. I don't want Koba versus Tommy.
Also, another reason why I don't think this is a sustainable match, or like it's like a
Format?
good idea. Yeah, because Koba, clearly a dude who's in the heavyweight area. Brendan, clearly middleweight, or
Yeah.
I would say like 180.
Yeah.
That's still heavyweight, but still, they have a weight difference. That's unfair.
Right?
He won because it's a movie, but in real life, sometimes the bigger guy wins.
You see how big Kurt Angle is compared to Joel Edgerton? You're like, that's not fair. Why?
Like, not at all. Like, me saying that, bring him to your level, bring it to the ground, that's a last resort. You don't ever want to fight somebody that big.
Underground too, where he might assert dominance and just beat the shit out of you. Like, yeah, that's a bad idea. Nope.
Yeah, but if you got technique down...
Yeah, if you have technique, but if you're the first guy, if you try to bring it to the ground, he's gonna put you on the ground. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, we forgot to mention that one line from Wrestling with My Family. What was this? Dick me dead and bury me pregnant.
I love that line.
Same. I don't know why I'm bringing it up here in this review, but yeah.
And then we get the scene with Paddy and Tommy where Paddy's trying to congratulate Tommy, but Tommy's not having any of it. He's like, you know what? When you buy, with this money, why don't you buy more tapes about fish stores that no one gives a shit about? Get the fuck out of here. And you see Paddy be like, please don't do this to me. I'm trying my best. And then next day, your heart breaks because Paddy goes back to drinking. And she's like, you goddamn son of a bitch! Turn the ship around! You're like, fuck! You're just losing it right in front of Tommy, and Tommy's like, fuck. I have to do something.
Yeah. The guy tried.
Yeah.
Nobody reciprocated. I get why. I don't blame anyone for not reciprocating their feelings towards the drunkard abuser.
Yeah.
But still, it was a tough scene to watch.
Yeah, your heart just breaks. Like, when the scene cuts to just alcohol bottles on the ground, just spilled, you're like, fuck. Here we go.
Yeah.
And again, Nick Nolte does such a great job. I just wonder why he was not awarded for anything, to my knowledge. It is a pretty good performance. And then the news breaks out that the last two fighters for Sparta are brothers, and that Tommy's in trouble because, again, he went AWOL. So he can't do that without consequences. But them being brothers, you feel like Brendan might hold back, and he does during the first round. Because you're like, alright, here we go. And he's like, where's Dad? Wait, I don't want to do this, fuck. And he even asks, like, the referee, after he breaks Tommy's shoulder, like, can we stop? And Frank's like, what the fuck are you doing? No, we worked so hard, why?
Yeah. And I've never heard of this before, where you break something, or like your shoulder dislocates from where it's supposed to be, and they're like, he can continue.
Right? I think that's the oddest thing in this movie. Like, really? I thought he would just
Yeah.
fucking stop.
Yeah, you just see him just like, just you ready to go. Man's desperate, like really desperate. And it was even a tough scene to watch where, like, he had him in the hole before he broke, like,
Yeah.
dislocated his shoulder. It was like, stop, Tommy, like, stop. And then he does, and you just see Tommy crying. I'm like,
You're just
look.
I like that the first round between them has no commentary at all. It's just silence. It's just it's very personal. That makes sense. Of like, yeah, these two estranged brothers who really don't like each other because of their past. Don't really understand why they did what they did. They just think like this guy's a piece of shit for leaving me or just staying with dad. Even Brendan's like, you forgive Pop, but not me. Why? How does that make sense?
Emotions.
Yeah.
So many emotions.
Yeah.
I will say this is a scene where Warrior did great while Creed 3 tried to imitate. They tried to make it anime, but this was way more anime, in my opinion. Than what
Creed
Creed
3.
tried to do. Yeah. Sure, I get it, the symbolism of, like, behind bars and all that, but just quiet, no commentary, you don't hear the crowd. It's just, oh, okay, you do hear a crowd, but it's just personal between two brothers. I'm like, this is very anime.
Yeah. And like the fact that by the end, any other movie by the end would like have the brothers and the dad like be like, all right, we're good now. Just let's hug it out. No, these two walk away while the dad's just looking on like, yeah, my two sons will be fine together. They finally mended their differences. I don't have to be in the picture. I know that I may or may not deserve it, but as long as my sons are fine, are okay, that's all I can live with. Like, I like this UFC movie. It's very good.
It's very good. The song that plays at the end as they're like walking off, I'm like, why am I hurting?
Right? And like you just fill in your imagination of like maybe Brendan does help with Manny's family because we found out that Manny died in like a friendly fire accident, and Tommy has extreme survivor's guilt. Like, oh, poor guy asks if he doesn't have enough going on with them. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the end you're like, I really like this UFC movie. I just don't think I can watch it again for a while. Might be the case with the other movie we're going to do next time. But yeah, for this movie, what would you rate Warrior?
I'm a little biased because I do practice martial arts. I gotta get this one. Like, you came in for testosterone-filled, like, guys beating up each other. Then you leave with like, remorse and guilt, and, like, I'm so sad. like, you expect, like, champions, like, hurrah at the end, but nah. You were left with tears and a bittersweet ending. I'm like, ah. Yeah, I'll give this one a 10 out of 10. I watched it when I was probably in the midst of my training, and this was big motivation. Scenes really stuck to me. Even like Tom Hardy as a fighter, I'm like, saw you as Bane, now I saw you as Tommy. Not gonna lie, I'm more scared of Tommy than the fucking
Bane?
warlord in Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, so I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. I don't find any faults in this one. We're getting a lot of high scores for this week, huh?
Yeah, well, the movies deserve it, in our opinions, at least.
Yeah, and I believe that it deserved probably an award for something. Especially Nick Nolte. I'm like,
yeah,
dude did an amazing job being the father that tried to mend things, but his sons won't allow him, and I get why.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not on his side, but I'm also not on the side of the sons either. I'm just watching from a distance and cry.
You know what? I'll also give this a 10 out of 10. I can't see any faults in this movie. Not really. This is a really good MMA movie about two brothers trying to make things better for themselves, and their dad trying to mend fences the best way he knows how. And does he succeed? Maybe or maybe not. We really don't know. But by the end, you're left with a feeling of like, maybe they'll just do what they always done, which is try their best. Like, fuck, that's one of those things of like, what did they do after the movie? Their best. Fuck, okay.
It's those moments of like watching a great movie and just leaving this theater, just like, maybe I should call my.
Yeah. I should call somebody. I should check out.
Yeah, I should call somebody.
Well, getting myself checked out. Fuck.
It's like, Mom.
Mom, I'm scared of this world. Help.
I want to put my brother in the UFC match.
Like, huh?
What are you talking about? Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Good sentence.
Unanimously 10 out of 10. Yeah, that's about it for Warrior. If you like our YouTube stuff, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify, 3 years on the go. I have no socials at all, but Jump does.
Yeah, you can find me at JompGOM on Instagram and just my dog. Take that, bitch.
What? And we might be doing another emotional sports movie. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Until then, bye guys.